here and working in China.
By Chinese offering more scholarship to Africa is like giving Africa a knowledge on how to catch fish instead of giving fish to Africa. Because if you give fish to me today, I will eat it, and tomorrow still I can come back to you.
So, Mr. Nyan,
Yes, sir.
do you think the China model is applicable in Africa?
Yes, I do think so, although we should not take it all, because China model, they use it with Chinese characteristic. I think the same thing we should also apply by using China model in Africa characteristic.
characteristics.
Yeah, that's what I think, because we have similarities with China. You know this, they went through difficulties like Africa did. I choose to study in China for one big reason. You see, if you see the China and Africa, they have similar history in terms of development process. In economics term, China, although it is well equipped and developed economically, it is still categorized under developing country. That make it very the same with Africa. And it is crucial when you come for a study, you don't only come and acquire a certificate, you come to gain a knowledge. But the question is, how would you gain that knowledge? By studying in an institution that based in a country with a very similar history with it. China went through hard time before it became developed at this stage. Therefore, for my institution and myself coming to China, I believe that I will gain more knowledge, a very practical knowledge that would help me to implement that. I'm happy to inform you that I'm impressed with the knowledge that I gained during my tenure at the Institute of South-South Cooperation and Development, both theoretical and practical knowledge.
This is my first time here in China, and the first things that I learned is to change my way of thinking and how to observe things.
Hi guys.
Hi, how are you?
And what is significant here in China, it's how they organize everything and how they will start from nothing to the top. This is make a hope for me, for my country, especially these days, because my country is in very bad situation.
The experience that I've had in China, I observed that similar to Africa, they have a lot of different ethnic groups. In my own country where I come from, Zambia, we have about 72, but still they manage to unite and work together and work towards development of their nation. So I admire that a lot.
All the students that you have seen here, they are elites. For example, this young girl from Syria, she worked for a Syrian government in the Minister of the Foreign Affairs. And then the girl from Zambia, she worked in the Cabinet Affairs, which means in the Office of the President. She has been working there for 10 years. And they were selected to come here with a purpose to learn how China developed, and with a very special reason that they should go back and implement what they have seen. Although they will not copy-paste that, you know, China development, it is with Chinese characteristic, but it is a very step-by-step kind of process. The same thing we as elite, need to copy that, but we have to implement it in our own characteristic as well. My PhD program, it will last for 3 years. And after 3 years, if I successfully done with it, the plan is that I will go back home and then implement what I've been taught here. In my country also, although we are landlocked, 98% of the revenues that support the government activities are from oil.
Okay.
Yeah, we are oil-rich country. But the funny thing is that in most oil countries, especially in Africa, it becomes a curse because there's always a problem when you become. Yeah. But I think for us being here, it would be a solution because we may think of diversification of the oil resource revenue to the non-oil sectors. I just have that idea as it could be a solution to my country. Yeah, this is what I think, but
yeah,
you
for my country,
from Cambodia.
yeah. Also a developing country, but we are still need to improve a lot, especially we want to improve in kind of innovation to economic activity. We don't need to depend on our resource. I learn a lot from China, even in the theory and the practice, that we always go to visit the grassroots where.
The Institute of South-South Cooperation and Development is a platform for exchanging the ideals and experiences in the southern country, among developing countries, and especially to help the countries, officials, elites in the developing world to understand how China can transform from one of the poorest countries in the world to one of the most dynamically growing country in the world. And China, as you know, makes a major contribution to the global effort for poverty elimination, and how China can make that possible, and what kind of lessons that we can learn from China.
Yeah, Chankot, Male. Okay, and then fine. Yeah. Tia ni ye go ro na ba malun ling ana ten malpoina ka China. Chankot, Male. Male, mu lo malpoina ka sai yanen. Oh, I miss you too. Thank you. Go. To me, I think we are here for a reason. And that's the very reason our governments send us here to learn and maybe to be a change agents at home. It would not, of course, change is always a process. It cannot happen within a day or within even a years. At least we will simply rely that when we see some change.
I'm Bruce Connolly. I've lived here, worked as a photographer, a broadcaster, a reporter, many things, but of course also a traveller, travelling extensively over this vast land, always with my camera, recording the changes of China. Today, based in Beijing, I'm spending a lot of my time here going back over places I discovered many years ago, photographing them as they are today.
Bruce, how are you?
Hello, Morag.
How you doing? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. This area of Beijing, have you been here before?
You know what? I'm ashamed to say I've never been here before.
Not many people have known it, and I've only really been re-investigating this recently. But I used to come here in 1994. I started exploring this area, and it was fascinating then. But today it's even more fascinating. A lot of really good work has gone on to improve, to restore it. Because I really expected this would have disappeared with the urbanisation, but it's not. I'm going to show you some really beautiful places today. I wanted to go back to China. I wanted to travel the length and breadth of the country. I loved the train journeys. I thought there was something really interesting with these journeys. I realised that there was a country waiting to be explored, to be photographed. And if it wasn't photographed quickly, it was going to change. I just somehow had this dream. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could do a train journey literally across the world? So I ended up going from Glasgow all the way to end up in Hong Kong. People back in Scotland thought it was crazy. You could fly. Why do I do that? I'm not saying that we had a negative image of China. We didn't really have any image, except that it might be a little bit, strict. And you had a kind of apprehension when you were coming to China. Would it be okay or what? Would you be glad to basically get in the plane and head back to Scotland? When we arrived, the train had come down from Mongolia. It was night time. We came to the border. When it rolled over onto the Chinese side, first thing that happened to me, this gentleman, white shirt, Mr. Lee, smiled, put his hand out and said to me, "Welcome to China. You are welcome." I said, "Thank you." He said, "Yes, and you're welcome to Beijing." China was totally different to anything I had imagined. The images we had of China in my school days, it was from Hong Kong. The vastness of the country, the diversity, nothing. Beijing, a city that looks fascinating. There's obviously a really interesting story here. How do you find it out? During that visit to China, whether it be going up to the Great Wall or going around places like Forbidden City, I found everywhere I was going, it was hello, welcome, hello. That is a typical 老 Beijing.
老 Beijing.
老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 Beijing. 老 When I came here, I'm not being offensive. If I said that Beijing in 1987 was probably more a second world city, coming from the UK at that time, it was like stepping back in time. When other parts of the world had advanced, but much of China at that time was still in the early stages of development. The transformation was starting around 2008 for Beijing. The Olympics were the catalyst for many changes, and we've seen areas like this coming alive. That's a fabulous contrast here also.
Look at it.
But you've got the 1950s apartments, you've got the water tower, and you've got the People's Daily all together. It's part of the story. I do wish there was more positive reporting about China. I mean, I've written about China and I take a lot of photography about the country. When I put my photographs on international websites, people are looking and they say, people look happy. Surprise. They say, people, look, they're well dressed, they're having seem to have a comfortable lifestyle, they're enjoying themselves, they're going on holiday.
It's strange that people are shocked by that, right? It's peculiar.
They say, that's not what I imagine people make China.
It's true.
And we have fallen in love with China and the Chinese people. And let's toast to that.
Cheers.
Central Station in Glasgow still looks almost exactly how it was when I left. China doesn't. It's been an amazing experience living here and working in China.
唉，好问题。不太喜欢。我的梦想是，我是竹内亮，来自日本的纪录片导演。2020年，就是去年，我去年出圈了。本来是没有人知道的一个大叔，很小众的一个纪录片的导演。但是因为这部片子，我出圈了，微博热搜了，然后微博视频全国第1名，日本最大的网站雅虎的首页也登上了，几千万的人看了，拿了金陵友谊奖，南京档案馆也是永远保存。皆さんこんにちは、竹内涼と申します。私はドキュメンタリーの監督をしています。10年前，很多中国人，特别是内陆的人，他们所知道的日语只有看日剧里面的日语，所以我当时真的惊讶了。哎，已经2011年了，已经有微博了，已经有微信了。网络这么发达的时代，他们还在说看日剧或者山口百惠，我真的惊讶了。所以我决定要搬到中国，把现在的日本的文化传达给大家。我想做这样的纪录片，所以决定来到中国。 照片是我的老婆。我想跟你结婚。我让照片先给我。就是我们俩结婚的时候。年轻吧。
你还背着他？
对啊。
不背不行吗？
不背不行，一定要背。很瘦啊，当时的照片非常瘦。啊？
我现在也很瘦。
很瘦，好像不一样呀。现在也漂亮，当时也很漂亮，是吧？
你不要碰我，
是吧？
你不要碰我，离我远一点。到底是不是个好老婆？应该问他吧，我觉得他应该最知道。然后他会比较烦我，比较觉得我很啰嗦，然后觉得我很强势。但是其实我觉得我原来不是这样性格的，我觉得我现在变得特别彪悍。
难形容。
举手。
拿奖吗？拿什么奖啊？拿什么奖？有奖杯吗？
さあ。なんかね、少し喋るかもしれない。
是吗？
ありがとうございますみたいな。
哦，可以啊。虽然很多中国人对日本不了解，但是我发现了，哎，很多日本人也对中国不了解，特别是现在的中国不了解，所以就两边开始做两边了。啊，好怀念啊！我最后回日本的那一次，2月8号。去年2月12号回到国内，回到中国。
我孙子居住着10万人口，而在全国都很有名的东西，并不存在。
在中国播出，在日本一模一样的，一句话都没变，100%一样的东西同时播出，这是必须的。后疫情也是，好久不见武汉、南京抗疫都是一样的，同时播出。所以这个说是非常简单，但是做的非常难。如果在中国的话，就夸中国的话，很多人看，但太不客观的夸中国的话，盲目的夸中国的话，外国人不想看。所以外国人也觉得有意思，中国人也觉得有意思，要做出这样的片子真的很难。我大概看了这个案例，但是我希望你再跟我说更详细的情况。很多人问我，你为什么一直夸中国呢？为什么不骂中国？是因为这样的理由吧，我骂的话不到位，因为我还是不了解中国的地方很多。但是我夸中国的话，因为外国人，所以能发现很多中国人不知道的好的地方。你什么时候你感受到我爱日本？
不允许我说日本的不好。他在说日本。
我经常说日本的坏话，我经常骂日本。日本这个不行，那个不行。刚才也说了，非常的保守，做什么都要非常的慎重，所以做不出来新的东西。高科技现在完全不行。我骂日本可以，但是如果被中国人骂日本的话，又不高兴。对吧？
中国人也一样。
对吧？我骂中国，对他自己骂中国无所谓，但如果我骂中国的话，他不高兴。
江苏风采贡献了江苏力量。
我没有参与这个活动，作为一个外国人的，就是身份吧。
我是美术馆的员工，我也是那个我住的粉丝。
啊，是吗？哎，你好。
我想跟您合个照，可以吗？
啊，可以啊。来。 一开始的时候，拍、剪辑、拉赞助全都我一个人做。但现在的话，不用拉赞助了，好多公司主动的找我们。剪辑的话，我们有好多剪辑师；拍摄的话，很多摄影师，编导也有很多。所以以前我做的工作都已经交给他们了，但是别的工作进来了，就是让我出镜，就是做网红的工作。所以要做演讲，要做教授啊，要做参加活动，要出镜什么什么广告啊，要参加什么综艺节目啊。所以虽然是忙，但是兴趣现在完全不一样。自己承认。所以怎么讲，有利有弊吧，因为影响力大了，然后很多乱七八糟的鬼，不能说乱七八糟的，就是商业合作吧，商业合作比较多，但非常感谢啊，赞助爸爸，非常的感谢。没有你们的话，我们做不出来的。但是有点多了，对，主要是数量太多的话，我也会累。我还是想做导演。他们的构图、光线，你要学习。
而且你首先要。
妈妈，你看我拍的，拍的真的。
你要拍的真的呀？
爸爸，你有没有觉得我拍的像个真的呀？
哎，挺好的，你拍的非常好。
哪里像真的一样？
什么呀？拍什么啊？
这不是南京吗？对吧？
我怎么感觉我们去过？
这个日本の摄影師の作品がないんだけど一個も。さっきから探してるんだけど。
这是哪儿啊？
南山珠海。
南山珠海不是？
我们去过吗？不是。
对，我们去过。
这在干嘛？
哇，它是夫。
金客。
金客。
妈妈。
好多粉丝经常跟我说，我是中日友好的桥